On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony makes a pizza and Ethan devours the hearts of his enemies. We react to big Microsoft and Nintendo news, we answer some of your questions, and talk about the games we've been playing this week. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey.
What's going on, sir?
Same as always.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same as always. I am surrounded by the remnants of a birthday party today because my boy turned 9, and there's stuff everywhere. There is spy stuff, astronaut stuff, video game stuff. It's like a birthday tornado happened in my house.
A birthday tornado.
And we do live in Oklahoma, so a birthday tornado is absolutely possible.
Like, depending where you live, it's either a tornado or maybe a hurricane. I could go with
earthquake.
Yeah, we could do earthquake, or we could even go with current pop media or current events, but that seems a little dark to do right now, so I'm not going to do that one.
Yeah, we should probably not joke about the events going on in California right now. So it's time to talk about some video games, and we have two very, very different types of video games to talk about this week. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to start this off with a little bit of lightheartedness?
That's a great question.
One you must now answer.
You know what? There is only one possible solution to this. Heads or tails?
Okay. Tails never fails.
Flipping coin, and it's heads.
Oh, that means you get to go first.
Or does that mean I get to make you go?
Or you get to choose.
Well, this doesn't solve anything. I've been playing The Darkness 2.
Okay. A sequel to The Darkness 1.
Yes. Sequel to The Darkness that came out in 2007, based on the American comic series published by Top Cow Productions.
Okay.
Whereas the video game series is made by Digital Extremes and published by 2K Games. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah. Or you could have looked at the box for the developer and publisher.
I'm playing this on PC.
Oh.
I could look at the box for the original. I think it's buried behind my PS4 games, though, so that's not happening. Anyway, I've had this game on PC for a while, maybe a few months, I guess, and just hadn't gotten around to playing it. Whereas I've had the PS3 version of the first game since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yeah, this game's cheap enough. I should probably play it sometime. And then here we are. I'm playing the game now. You play as Jackie Estacado, basically a mafia hitman. He obtains the darkness in the first game, and it, helps him survive a explosion or something. I think it was on his birthday of all things. And I think in the same process, his girlfriend gets killed or something, and everything goes to crap for him, and you're basically just fighting gangsters and stuff while using this dark power. And then eventually everything goes crazy with your powers at the end of that game, and I forget how it ends, aside from short little glimpses of him coming back into consciousness and his powers are going nuts and attacking everything. This one takes place a while later, and you're in charge of the mafia family that you're part of.
Wait, I thought you were playing The Darkness, not Yakuza.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Apparently, he figured out how to suppress the darkness, to not use it or whatever. He's the head of a family now. Everything's going great. Still has the dead girlfriend issue. I mean,
Yeah, once that happens, that
you,
doesn't really go away.
yeah, you don't really get over that. But yeah, I don't know if it's his birthday when you start again, but he's like going out to eat, and you're seeing all these people in this restaurant, and then another mafia family or something attacks. And so you're getting dragged around for your tutorial. So it's like teaching you how to aim while you're being moved and stuff, how to shoot your little handgun that you were given. And then you get to a certain point, and he's like, "All right, I have to use this power, or I'm gonna die." And so uh, it instantly heals his leg, and then you have the two uh, darkness tentacles over your shoulder the whole time, just ready to be used. And I think it was actually an ability in the first game, but it looks like this time you always have the little imp running around with you, helping, and he actually has conversations with you. It's pretty cool. Because I'm pretty sure he was a summon or a thing that you had to summon occasionally in the first one. Uh, so, uh, like in some games when you get the dual wield, like you can dual wield in this game, and most games when you get the dual wield, it's left trigger's gonna be your left gun, right trigger will be your right gun.
Mm-hmm.
This one you have you have the two tentacles as well, and you control them as to do different things.
Nice.
So you'll be using the left tentacle to like grab items and throw them, or to hold like a car door in front of you, using it as a ballistic shield.
Okay.
And then you got your right one, which will work as like a whip and like slash things to pieces. So you kind of have to mix and match your abilities and your stuff. So I'm finding myself not dual wielding a lot, so I can at least aim better with the weapon while using the two other the tentacle darkness things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a mix and matching sort of thing, and a big difference from the first game to this one is it it's kind of cell shaded. Kind of looks more like a comic, I guess you could say.
So they're sort of leaning into that vibe from the source material a little more.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to say that. Because the first game, everything was just kind of creepy looking people that were obviously 3D renders and all this stuff. So this one's like, all right, looks like a comic and a little bit here and there, but still not quite all the way there because of the reasons, probably
Yeah.
money and programming time and all that, and hardware. So yeah, I'm just kind of taking it slow going through this one. It's a little weird. This one you're going against a cult, and the cult is using some ancient thing. I don't know if it's an angelic thing or a holy item or something to try to absorb the darkness from you because they want to control it. Apparently, it whenever someone usually has the darkness in them, the darkness wants to control them, and usually it's attached to someone who's dumb enough to let it happen.
Of
Whereas you
course.
have Jackie here, and he's like, no, 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 you're gonna do what I say, and then the darkness is just screaming at you. He's like, no, you do this, and it's just okay. Maybe we'll do this.
Yeah, we'll get around to that eventually.
But it's just really weird because you start going against these the cult guys after dealing with regular mafia people. So it's like, oh, there's a guy in a suit, bam, headshot, done. You go against the cult guy, he's got like this weird darkness stuff on him already, covering his face. You have to pop that off there, and then you can damage him.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are just weird. It's definitely a very dark game. I'll go with that.
Well, I would hope so with a name like The Darkness.
And there is some leveling up in there based on like getting a kill could net you like 10 points of experience or up to 30 depending on the type of execution you do.
So it's
You
got some RPG elements to it.
kind of. You don't really level up as much as you just gain the experience. So most of the time you get the headshot, you're going to get 25 points, whereas you just shoot them down 10 points. But you want to go out of your way to at least uh, get close to them, devour their heart after you've taken them out. So that's an additional 5 points and a free heal in the process.
Nice.
Otherwise, you can use that left tentacle, grab the person, and you can do like one of four different finishers. I think it's four. I have three right now, and one just instantly eats the heart. The other one, another one will take their ammo, and then one I have right now that I really like is you devour them or something or rip them in half, and then you get a shield. So instead of just the regular ballistic shield, you have this darkness shield uh, growth that you can carry around in front of you, and then throw it and just slices everything in half, and then it's like, all right, that was cool. But generally, you'll get 30 experience from that, and then you can go into your skill tree, which is divided into four different parts: Hitman, Execution, Darkness Power, and Demon Arm. And you can just kind of mix and match those and get different abilities. So you can have like an ability that adds darkness to your gun. You can have dark armor. You can make the as long as you're like standing in the darkness, you have a armor on supposedly, so you're gonna
Okay.
take less damage. That sort of stuff. It it's interesting. We'll go with that.
It sounds really cool. I have seen this before, um, and thought it sounded really interesting, but I've never seen a copy of it like in a store or anything like that. So,
Compared to the first game was very open world for the area you're in. This one it seems very streamlined. It's like, all right, we're going here, take care of business, bam, back at the house, talk to people. All right, next place, let's go, and then it's just back and forth with all that. I do recall in the first game you could control one of the demon tentacle arm thingies and like get a first person view and move it around you could sit it down into like a vent or something and just come up in another room and attack someone with it.
nice.
This one it doesn't seem to have that, so I'm a
Uh,
little sad about that. At the same time, you gotta build a reason to have that, and there's no reason to have it when you're just going guns blazing.
yeah.
And it's also really nice to see all your enemies actively using light to fight back against you now,
Okay.
because you can't fight very well in the light with the monsters. They go away, and if the light's bright enough, you're just standing there just blind, and everything goes black and white or something, hard to hear.
Hmm. So it's like a little bit of a flashbang type thing
They
in
use
like
those
first person
too.
shooter. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah,
I wonder if we'll ever get a third game in the series. I know the developers are a little, busy with their free to play shooter. This is developers of Warframe.
indeed. I don't know how this one ends, this game, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know where the comic book series has gone to, if that could be a legal issue with that too, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
So yeah, Darkness 2. It's a game. I'm playing it.
There you go.
So, Tony,
What's up?
aside from what I've been playing, what have you been playing?
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
I hear that's a game.
It is a game. We have been playing
We
it.
did.
We learned today that we could double jump.
Just
Or
the moment you're like, yeah, we can double jump. It's like we're done with the level, and we just now figured this out after playing it last week and knowing full well we could double jump.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they taught us last week that we could double jump and we just completely forgot.
It's amazing what happens in a week.
And when you're not really paying attention to any of the tutorials that are happening,
Well, most of the time it's right next to a horde of enemies. So all you have time for is to grab it and hit the escape button to continue playing.
pretty much. So
So yeah,
Yeah,
Wolfenstein Youngblood, you can double jump.
and they have uh robotic fire breathing panthers.
Well, I mean that's been there for a couple of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a tiger really, like a lion
So
or something.
yeah,
They
that
they
was that
they
was
kind of take a
fun.
beating, and usually you can get armor off of them after you defeat them. Whereas this one just kind of blew up, and I think it took me down whenever I came down to heal you from that
Yeah,
afterwards.
I think so. I think so. And you can find all of that on our episode 2 of our Wolfenstein Youngblood play, which is on the YouTube channel. So you should check that out.
Yeah, we're ditching the PG pre-show for PG plays.
Yes.
Made more sense.
So that is all there, and we will just be making those free to everybody. So you can watch any of those games that we are playing together and some other stuff too, because I toss some gameplay videos every once in a while up on the YouTube channel as well. But the one game that I have been playing this week, and I might have mentioned it last week. Did I even talk about it last week?
I think it was mentioned at some point, wasn't it?
It might have been mentioned during a stream or maybe during the pre-show. I don't know. Good Pizza, Great Pizza on the Switch.
I've heard
That
of
is what
this.
that is what I have been playing this week. Because that game is really fun. Like I don't think you understand really how much I like Good Pizza, Great Pizza. It's free on mobile, so you can get it on tablet, phone, whatever, iOS, Android, Kindle. It's on Kindle for free. Um, it is also available on Switch, and it's also on PC today. I found out it's on Steam, which I did
It's
not
on
realize.
Steam? Oh my
It is on
gosh.
Steam. Good Pizza, Great Pizza is on Steam. It's $15 on Steam. Um,
Good pizza. Great pizza.
but in the game is, and we've probably talked about this previously on the Nintendo Oki podcast. Uh, it is a game. It's just a game about making pizza.
Hold on. I gotta stop you for just a second. I'm
What?
watching the trailer. Hold on. I'm switching the full screen here. I'm gonna switch over to monitor one. Let me rewind this trailer real quick here. All right, so this is the trailer on Steam. There is a bear in my car. I should probably get
Yep.
What? Dude says
They'll,
there's a bear in his car.
oh, and by the way, I should probably get a pizza. Yeah, they'll make weird random comments like that all the time.
Okay. Okay.
It's just, and because part of the thing about the game and is that you have to, it's a little bit, sometimes there's a little bit of like a puzzle element to the things that people say, and you have to go through what they're saying and sort of figure out what kind of pizza they want.
Can I get a pepperoni without any pepperoni?
So in that case, you would just make them a cheese pizza.
Okay. Okay.
So, but yeah, the game is it's just about making pizza. That's all you do in the game, but it is so much fun. Like I
Okay.
am having.
Okay. So what he said is there's a bear in my car. I should probably get an onion pizza. I I have so many questions.
So yeah, in the game, the story behind the game is you're a brand new pizzeria owner and you've opened up a shop right across the street from an established pizza place. And the guy does not like you. The guy from the other shop, he looks like sort of the cartoony villain. He's got a big mustache and uh, he just comes over to antagonize you all the time and tells you that all the pizzas that you make are terrible. Uh,
I like that he comes over wearing the chef hat and wearing an apron as well.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like all against regulation and stuff, right?
I don't have any idea. So I have not worked in the food service industry in about 20 years.
And there's like a picture of this girl saying, "My sister is a vegetarian, but she doesn't actually like vegetables or fruit. She likes mushrooms, though, but not on pizza." So, what, you just give her a cheese pizza?
Well, if that's the case and you can't really figure it out, you have the option to just go, what?
What?
There's a what button, and they'll explain it again, and they'll use different wording that time. And if you still can't figure it out, you can hit the what button one more time, and you can get two basically sort of clues as to what kind of pizza they want. And you start out that you can basically make cheese and pepperoni, and that is it. And as you make pizzas, you'll earn money from the customers. You want to make sure you use the right amount of ingredients, because if you use too much sauce or you put too many pepperonis on a pizza or too much cheese, that takes away money that you've earned throughout the day. And if you run out of money, you can go bankrupt and the game will just end.
Wow.
So
Resource
you have
management is a thing.
you have to make sure that you're not over, you know, putting too many ingredients on the pizza, but at the same time, you also have to put enough that they'll still be happy. And I think with a pepperoni pizza, it's 18 pieces of pepperoni. It's basically 3 pieces per slice.
So you have to predict all of this ahead of time.
Yeah. And then they'll do things like, I want a half cheese, half pepperoni pizza with sauce on one side but not the other. Or they'll be like, I'm feeling like I want a pizza today, but don't give me any toppings, don't give me any sauce, don't give me any cheese. And so you just basically give them a crust that's been cooked. Or there are a couple of different types of sauces that you can put on the pizzas. There's regular, the tomato-based pizza sauce, or there's pesto pizza sauce. Tons and tons of different ingredients. I know there's pepperoni, mushrooms, olives, sausage, I think onion, green peppers. And so the area that you have to sort of prepare the pizza starts to get pretty crowded after you've bought a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also do upgrades to your shop. So you can buy tables that will increase the amount of customers that come in, or signs that will let you stay open longer, decorations that are just basically decorative, like cactuses and other things like that. And the purpose of the game is just to make as many pizzas as you can and earn as much money as you can and be the best possible pizza person on the planet. And one of the fun things that I like about the game is that in between the days, once you end a day, you'll get a news broadcast that is from PNN News, which is the Pizza News Network. And all of their news is just about pizza. So there's some funny little sort of news cutscenes in between each of your days that you do. And the game is charming, it's clever, it's a lot of fun. And both of my kids have the game on their tablets and they play it a lot.
This game is available in 13 languages. Full interface, full audio, and subtitles.
Yeah. And
for all 13 languages.
On tablet, you're using you're doing everything with touch. On the Switch, everything is controlled with the analog sticks. And as much as I would love for it to say that the Switch version is just as good as the mobile versions, I don't know that I can say that, because the control interface on the Switch is a little bit clunky. I would like, and there may be, but I don't remember seeing anything in the settings, to be able to just dial the sensitivity of the sticks a little bit, because it's either really, really fast, or you can hit a button that will make it go slow, but then in that case, it's really slow. And so you can't serve as many customers if you're trying to really pay attention to how much of the ingredients that you're using. So you either have to go really fast and tend to use more of the things like the sauce and the cheese than you really want to, or you go really slow and you risk customers being slightly more angry with you and not getting as much money in like tips and things. That's not to say the game is bad on Switch. It's not. It's really good. It looks really nice on the TV. The visuals upscaled really nicely from the mobile versions to the TV, and I really like it. But it's so much nicer to just use the touch controls, which
I would
the
imagine
Switch
so.
version also doesn't have. So you can't like pull it out and play it in portable mode and use the touchscreen. So it has to be done with a controller. So that would probably be the one thing I not that I really don't like, but that is a little bit disappointing with the Switch version compared to mobile or PC. But I highly recommend the game. I think it is so much fun to play. I have put way more time into Good Pizza, Great Pizza over the last couple of years than I would like to admit, because it's one of those games that's really good and really fun to just pull out, play for 5 minutes, and then be done. But if you do that a lot, then that time starts to add up a whole bunch, and you don't realize how much Good Pizza, Great Pizza you've actually played. So, really, really like the game, though. I would recommend anybody pick it up on whatever platform you happen to have, whether you're playing on PC, if you're playing on mobile or phone. I like it on the tablet the best. I think that's the sort of sweet spot between screen size versus control. Because it looks really good on the phone, but the phone is really small, and so it's a little bit harder to be precise with like placing ingredients and things on the pizzas. So the screen size on the tablet, like an 8-inch or a 10-inch tablet, is really, really nice. So, Good Pizza, Great Pizza is a good game. Good game / great game. Good game, great game.
And you learn all the fundamentals about making pizza.
I mean, yeah.
None of the actual work.
And you get to stick it to the pizza guy across the street because he's kind of a jerk.
Well, I mean, I didn't try his pizza. I don't know if it's any good.
It's true. I haven't either. So, I mean, he may have the best pizza in town, and I'm putting a really nice guy out of business. But he's been a jerk to me in every interaction that I've had with him. So I'm not sad that I would be putting him out of business. He can come work for me.
You're so caring.
But that is it for me. That is what I have been playing this week. So let's take a quick break. We've got some pretty big news to talk about in the news section. So we'll be right back. So was it last week that we talked about a brand new Mario? It was last week that we talked about brand new Mario, wasn't? Or was it 2 weeks ago?
It wasn't really new Mario. I think it was last week. But it was more of
it's re-releases of the best Mario games.
Another Mario All-Stars, but this time was the 3D All-Stars.
So,
in fact, that's coming out Friday.
It is coming out Friday. I am very excited.
And you have your chance to get that until what, March 31st?
March 31st. I have that pre-ordered on Amazon, but I'm a little worried I may not get it in the first run, so I might cancel my pre-order and just get it digitally. Yeah, if we start to get close to launch day and I don't have a estimated delivery date, I will just cancel that and pick it up digitally so I can play it on launch day. Nintendo, unbeknownst to us, though we knew they still had some stuff coming, they have announced what is their big holiday game for the year, and it is a brand new Zelda game.
A brand new Zelda game. Are you talking about Breath of the Wild 2, Tony?
I am not talking about Breath of the Wild 2, sir. No, that is not the game that they talked about. This is another brand new Zelda game. Funny you should mention Breath of the Wild, though, because it is linked directly to Breath of the Wild. And the game
Do you mean to have the pun in there or not?
What?
Do you mean to have the pun in there with Link?
No, I didn't. I didn't even catch it. So No pun intended. No, the game is also a sequel to Hyrule Warriors.
Hmm.
Because the game is Hyrule Warriors, the what is the actual title? Um, Hyrule Warriors: The Great Calamity.
So it's a
Is that what it's
sequel to
called?
Hyrule Warriors,
Sort of. I mean,
but
it is
but it's
another Hyrule Warriors game. It's not really a sequel to Hyrule Warriors because Hyrule Warriors wasn't canon.
okay. Okay. Or
Um,
was it?
I think it should have been, but
It's like it's canon outside the bonds of time. There, man.
it's sorry. It's Hyrule Warriors: The Age of Calamity, not the Great Calamity.
Yeah,
Sorry.
close enough.
Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. It takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild. You know what happened 100 years before Breath of the Wild?
Link got stabbed and had to go and sleep it off.
That's exactly right.
What is it?
So we are going to be talking about the Great Calamity, the whole thing that put Link to sleep for 100 years, had Zelda standing around, holding up, basically protecting Hyrule by herself from Calamity Ganon. And I cannot wait to play that game.
Yeah, I might have to order this one as well since I haven't played Hyrule Warriors since Wii U.
I haven't either. I have not played the 3DS or the Switch versions of that game. So, but I played a ton of Hyrule Warriors. I'm a big fan of the Muso games, so I was already excited for it. Um, I think Hyrule Warriors should have been canon because it explains a lot of, it basically sets the stage for Breath of the Wild and the reason that you see things from all the different timelines in Breath of the Wild. But that game is not canon. This one, though, will be. This is a canon story Zelda game, and you will get to play as all of the champions that has been confirmed. So the 4 different champions that you saw in the flashbacks in Breath of the Wild, the ones that gave you the abilities that Link had, like Mipha's Grace, uh, the other ones,
Yes.
those things.
The
Mipha's
bird
Grace is the
guy,
only
the
one that
rock guy, and then
yeah,
the Gerudo chick.
exactly. Uh, so you'll have the chance to play as all of them.
Seems
Zelda will be
there's
playable.
a second round of the champion amiibos as well, so I
Hmm.
assume there's functionality with that. Why else would they bother with it, right?
I wouldn't think they would put out those amiibo if it didn't have amiibo support. So
Well, it's just speculation.
that is true. We don't know that for sure, but it would make sense. I don't see any other reason that they would release those champion amiibos if you couldn't use them in the game. One of the things I imagine that we'll see is the roster will not be as big as Hyrule Warriors was because this is a story game. It's not like that first game where they just sort of it was a love letter to Zelda and they just threw everything from the Zelda lore.
This one's not just hey, we're gonna have fun with whatever. This one's gonna be all right. We're focusing on an actual story plot here and leading up to what's already an existing piece of canon.
Hmm. Yeah, this is being developed by Koei Tecmo, and they said they worked very closely with the Zelda team to build the story of this game. So this is going to tie directly into Breath of the Wild, and it essentially makes Breath of the Wild a trilogy of games. So Breath of the Wild 2 is still coming. They did say that during the little 6-minute sort of mini. It wasn't really a direct, it was just a 6-minute presentation for Hyrule Warriors. But they said, while we're still currently working on that, we know you guys want more Zelda. So here you go. And the internet just fell in love. Like I have not seen any like negative reaction to this in any way. This has been nothing but positive. A lot of people saying, I've never played a Muso game. I didn't play the first Hyrule Warriors, but I am going to play this one.
Yeah, they have no reason not to because this one actually ties in to story. So it's not just like you said a love letter for Zelda. It's actually relevant.
Yeah. So that was a very nice surprise this week. I was not expecting anything like this. And the news just came out of nowhere. It wasn't like they said, we've got an announcement coming up, tomorrow or whatever. They just dropped a trailer and the internet went nuts. So, very, very excited about this. It comes out on November 20th. So it is
months away.
Right there in that big holiday time. This is most definitely their big holiday game for the year. So very, very exciting. We're getting, those the big Mario re-releases. We're getting a brand new Zelda game this year. 2020 is turning out to be pretty good for Nintendo, even though they went a long time with sort of no news. They're sort of cramming the back half of 2020 with a bunch of stuff, because we still got Pikmin coming as well. I think that's supposed to be out before the end of the year.
Yes, I believe so. But it's also been relisted on the Wii U eShop.
It has. So I don't know why they took it down.
Pretty sure I got that game for free from Nintendo digitally. So there's that.
I got a copy of. I remember when they did that. I don't remember what it was for, but I got a copy of Wind Waker for free from them.
It's a good game.
Because it was like Wind Waker, Pikmin. There was a few other games that you could choose from, and I don't remember what it was for.
I don't feel like looking it up.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure it was something to do with something that they felt they did wrong and wanted to make it up to people.
Quite possibly. That's entirely possible. So, let's see. But that's not the only big news that happened this week. That is it from Nintendo, though. Microsoft basically had their hand forced in making a bunch of announcements about Series X and Series S. And one of the things that they did this week was that they officially confirmed Series S. They gave a launch date and a price for Series S, November 10th, and the system will be $299.
$300.
$300 for a next gen system that will, like people thought this will not be a 4K system. This will support up to 1440p and 120 frames per second. They did.
That's still
confirm.
pretty good.
That's still really good, and it will upscale to 4K. It'll have a 512 gig hard drive, solid state drive.
Well, it's solid state. That's fine. Still, that's very little storage.
It is. It's very little storage. I think that's what my Xbox One has, and I run out of space a lot.
Yeah.
So, Halo and Gears of War, and
there you go. That's all.
That's basically it.
And maybe a system update sitting there as well.
And Destiny. So those are all games that are over 100 gigs.
Well, heck, you can install 150 your hard drive right there is Destiny on the new one.
So yeah, it will, like the Series X, it will have an expansion slot for bigger, for more hard drive space. So you can actually buy it's a small proprietary thing that plugs into the back of the system that will, I think I've seen up to 1 terabyte. There might be bigger ones.
Microsoft, just let us replace the hard drives ourselves. It's not that big a deal.
No kidding. So it will also have ray tracing. So this is basically
Ray will be in there tracing stuff for you.
He will be actually hand drawing every frame of animation. So basically, they confirmed that it will have the same CPU as the Series X. The GPU will be the thing that is different, and will only allow it to display up to 1440p, but it will upscale to 4K, which for the average consumer is probably fine. They're going to be more than okay with upscaled 1440p to 4K. You can stream 4K media, so it will do that. So if you have, Disney Plus, Netflix, any of that stuff that supports 4K, the system will stream that at 4K. Yeah. They also have announced that the All Access program will before we get to that, though, a couple days later, they confirmed the price of the Series X, and that will be $499. So it'll be $500.
Good.
Which is still, I think that's about what people was expecting.
Yeah.
The Series X to release at.
But it's like 3 times larger than the Series S.
Yeah, the Series S is tiny. They apparently sent like models of these systems out to a bunch of people this week, and they were doing size comparisons of everything. The Series S is as tall as a PS4, so it's the same height as a PS4, but it's half the depth of it. It is a tiny system. And it's about a third of the size of a Series X.
It's so weird seeing these size comparisons of the systems. It's just, what has, I mean, the disk drive's not taking up that much room, obviously. But, oh, jeez, dude.
So, yeah, it's
You could
really
fit,
small.
You could fit like 3 of those inside the Xbox Series X.
Mm-hmm. You could.
And then still have room for other things.
So, I after this announcement, it's been, I think the reaction to this has been pretty mixed. There's been a lot of people like, I wasn't really interested in this, but the Series S has sort of made me consider getting a next gen system earlier than I thought. I'm one of those people. I wasn't going to get a Series X. I'm not going to say that. If that was the only choice I had, I would have waited till probably the middle of next year, the end of next year to get one. At $300 though, Series S is a really, really appealing system for me.
Yes.
I have a smallish TV. I have a 43-inch TV in my living room, but I sit like 7 or 8 feet away. So 4K is not a huge thing for me. My TV does do 4K. But at that distance, it's not that big a deal. So 1440p upscaled to 4K for me is fine. It doesn't have a disk drive, which is fine. Don't matter. I have an Xbox One S right now, all digital edition. So I don't have any Xbox One disc games. So the disc drive's not a big deal for me. So I'm seriously considering getting a Series S pretty early on, a lot earlier than I had thought I would.
The only reason I could see myself getting the Series X is just for the backwards compatibility with my physical games.
Yeah. If you've got a pretty decent physical library, it makes sense to go with the X over the S. I mean, unless you just really don't care about bringing those games with you. But man, at 300, I was expecting $400 probably, which is not a huge deal for the Series S. But at $300, that's a lot more appealing to me. So we'll see with Game Pass stuff coming, xCloud. xCloud will be a part of these boxes. So I would imagine with xCloud on the consoles, I imagine what will happen is you'll be able to buy a game on the store and just start playing immediately while it's downloading in the background.
Yep.
So you'll have instant access to all of those games if you buy them digitally through the Microsoft Store. That's my guess. We don't know. They haven't said anything like that. But we'll see. But one of the other things they talked about was the All Access program, which is their basically way for you to finance a next-gen system.
Oh, yeah.
The Series S is $25 a month for 2 years. You're locked into a 2-year contract to get this, and it's $25 a month for the 2 years, which is just $10 more than Game Pass Ultimate. So it's not a huge price commitment, and you get the Series S and 2 years of Game Pass for that $25 a month. And then if you want a Series X, it's $35 a month.
35.
So $35 a month for a Series X if you want to pay it out over 2 years.
Interesting.
And both of them come with the 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate built in. So that's a pretty good deal. I know they did that with the Xbox One as well. So
didn't they do that like really late with 360s for some reason?
I think so. I think that's where they started doing this. And it was sort of too late in the life cycle of the 360 for it to really be worth it if you were going to be upgrading soon. But this is a way for some people, if they can't afford the upfront cost of the $300 plus the cost of, Game Pass Ultimate, which you can pay that out monthly. You wouldn't have to if you buy the systems just straight. You wouldn't have to get 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate. But I think people also did the math, and it works out to be cheaper if you finance the system than it would be to just straight buy the box plus the same 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate. It's like $60 cheaper if you do the All Access program versus straight buying the box, which is seems a little weird, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be worried about that.
Probably not.
So
then again, doing it, buying it from Microsoft like that really takes away the joys of midnight console releases.
mm-hmm.
Then again,
That is true.
I'm the kind of person who's just gonna order it online because, adulting is hard.
It can be. We've heard rumors this week now since the Xbox stuff has come out. We've now been hearing rumors about the pricing of the PS5. I don't know that we really want to talk about that until it's confirmed. But we should know on Wednesday this week, right?
Wednesday this week, the 16th, around 2 o'clock Central Time, I believe.
That sounds right.
Sony will hold their whatever conference, and we're the world suspects it'll be the price of the console.
Yeah, I would imagine we will hear that this week. I think they were just waiting for Microsoft. Whichever company was going to blink first, the other one was going to follow very soon. Microsoft sort of had their hand forced because a bunch of information leaked and it ended up being true. And so they were just like, fine, here you go. Here's all the information you want. And so now Sony gets a chance to react to that. So one of the things we've been hearing this week is that Sony has adjusted the price of what the PS5 was going to be versus what it's actually going to be. So we will see this week what the PS5, what Sony has in store. So
it's going to be an expensive year.
It is going to be an expensive year, but that is not all for the game news, because Ubisoft had their Ubi Forward event this week.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was about 45 minutes long. I think they touched on like half a dozen games. They started off showing Immortals Phoenix Rising, which used to be called Gods and Monsters, but it got changed. Not only did the name get changed, but the visual style got changed as well from what we had originally seen at E3 last year. Is that when they first showed it off?
Maybe?
Or was it a UB event and I'm just mixing it up?
I don't remember. Which one is Immortals?
Immortals is it's done by the Assassin's Creed team, but it's not Assassin's Creed.
Oh, you mean Watch Dogs?
No. This is
I
very
don't
much
remember it at all, Tony.
It is a open world Greek mythology inspired action game.
This wasn't the one with the one that we were comparing to like Destiny or stuff, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They showed off a bunch of information about that, and then some people who got hands-on time basically said it's Breath of the Wild with a Greek skin on top.
This is the one I said looks like World of Warcraft but not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is everything I've seen says that it is Ubisoft. They took Breath of the Wild, and because they couldn't copy it directly, just changed a couple of tiny things here and there.
You now play as Shane instead of Link. And that's all.
No,
they
you
changed.
play as Phoenix.
Okay.
Phoenix is the name of the main character. But you
and
have
you go through high rule, low rule. No, those are
no, you can't do low rule either because Nintendo's done that.
High school.
So, it's High School Musical, the game.
And you try your best to be a lawyer.
What I think this game looks like Breath of the Wild and Kid Icarus smashed together and put onto every system, not just the Switch.
Okay.
Which, if that is what it is, if it is those two games smashed together into one package, I am all for that. That will be my favorite game that has ever been made. I'm sorry, Luigi. So, my wife just gave me the look. She's like, you can't say stuff like that.
Man.
But no, it looks you're. I'm assuming you're playing the trailer here while we're talking about
I
this.
sure hope I am, or else I have failed ourselves.
I'm really, really interested in this. The main character is not set. You can go in. There's lots of customization. It is all about customizing that main character to make that character look the way you want it to. The game is coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and they were very excited to say it was also coming to Stadia. They got Phil Harrison. Is that his name? The dude who used to be at Sony and was at Atari for a while, and now he's over Stadia. I think it's Phil Harrison. He was out to talk about the game and said that before the launch, there will be a Stadia exclusive demo of the game. So,
isn't he the vice president and general manager for Google?
I don't know. I thought he was just over Stadia.
I have no idea.
So, and I don't think you have to have a Stadia Pro subscription to this. I think all you need is basically a Gmail account. And you'll be able to play the demo for this. So I'm going to check it out on Stadia and see what it's like, because I'm really interested in playing this game. And if Stadia is the only place I can play it, I'll boot up Stadia to play the demo of this game. That's fine. Whatever. Next, they showed off the remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
How many remakes is this game going to get?
Has it gotten a remake before?
So, let's see. I'm pretty sure there's been at least 2 remakes already.
Really?
No, not Price of Persia. Prince of...
And you can't buy Persia. I'm sorry.
How do you
The
spell
price
Persia?
is way too high. So this was a game that came out originally in 2003 for the PS2 and the GameCube.
Okay, Sands of Time. Okay. Wow, I spelled No, I didn't spell Persia right.
It's spelled Persia.
Sands of Time. Okay, I'm trying to get to the wiki page. Give me a moment. Okay, came out 2003, North America on Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox, and Windows, and mobile on 2004. Okay, this is that one.
It was remade into a movie.
And then I think there was a remake of the game from that one. A remake of the game was announced at the Ubi Forward 2020, the 2021 release date for PS4 and Xbox One. 2008 series reboot.
I think that 2008 game has been the best Prince of Persia game that they've put out.
I think the 2008 series reboot. Okay, so it's not technically Sands of Time, but it's a series. Okay. I still say it's been remade twice or something. Because didn't they remake the like remake the game to fit more with the movie or something? Or was that what the series?
I think that was just the reboot in general, the 2008 game.
Yeah.
So, they say that they have completely rebuilt this game from the ground up. They're using a modern engine. They're improving the combat, camera controls. They're just basically making the game nicer to play on modern systems. So, I have not played this. I don't know anything about Sands of Time. I played the original game on like the Super Nintendo, and then I played that 2008 game, which I really, really enjoyed. And that's the only Prince of Persia that I've ever played.
I've never played Prince of Persia.
So I don't know a lot about this one. They followed that up with a bunch of like an 8-minute thing talking about Rainbow Six esports. They are going to be doing a World Cup tournament with Rainbow Six. And putting a lot of money into that. They also talked about new content that's coming to Rainbow Six. It will be coming to the PS5 and the Series X with 4K and 120 frames per second. And the first thing that people will do, competitive players will do is turn off the 4K to get more, a higher frame rate. And you will, if you own the game on PS4, Xbox One, they are doing the, smart delivery thing where you get the next gen version for free.
That's always an important aspect to consider going forward these days.
It is. So a lot of people want to continue to bring their libraries with them wherever, on whatever system they have. So I'm glad we're seeing more companies doing stuff like this. They also announced a brand new character will be coming to the game. And he wants to be called Zero. He says during the trailer, he's like, call me Zero. But we know him as Sam Fisher. So Sam Fisher will be playable in Rainbow Six Siege very soon. The one thing Sam Fisher hasn't been playable in a while?
Splinter Cell.
Exactly. When are we going to get a new Splinter Cell game?
When Ubisoft stops doing whatever the heck it is they're doing right now, which is not making Splinter Cell.
Like Sam Fisher is in every other, Tom Clancy property. He's in that mobile game that got in trouble a couple weeks ago. He's been in some other,
You know what they need to do? They just need to give us a remake of the first game. Not a remaster, a remake.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I take that back. A remake of the original trilogy.
Dude, we need more Splinter Cell.
Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory thrown in there. And then from there, just kind of judge it from there and release a better game. Bring back the ability to shoot the cameras, to knock people out in the heads with them, because that was a lot of fun instead of wasting your little foil rounds that you can never find after you shoot them. I had so much fun just trying to figure out the right angle to shoot a sticky camera to knock someone out.
Yeah. So, Sam Fisher's also really old now in this game.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's an old man. He's got big, bushy, gray beard, gray hair, lots of wrinkles. He is an old man now. So, they showed off some more information for Watch Dogs Legion. Bunch of video footage of that, as well as during the trailer, they showed off the cameo the in-game cameo of a rapper from London, Stormzy. I have no idea who he is. I'm way out of touch with modern music.
You're out of touch with bad music.
I'm not going to say that because there is some good hip hop out there, but I don't know who this guy is. He's apparently going to have. They debuted a brand new song of his called "Fall on My Enemies," and he will have a mission that's centered around him in the game when it comes out in October.
So if he gets captured, then we can actually just play the regular game without him.
Maybe.
Because I mean, it's optional to save him, right?
I would imagine if you start that mission, you probably want to save him.
I'll think it over.
But to go along with that, they also announced a new playable character in the game that will be out in some upcoming DLC. Sam Fisher. No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be something? Sam Fisher and Watch Dogs. No, Aiden Pierce is back.
Oh.
So you will be able to play as Aiden Pierce in his trench coat and ball cap.
Actually playable Aiden Pierce.
Yes.
Because in Watch Dogs 2, it's like you just kind of work to save him, and then he's like in the shadows, and you don't see him ever again.
Yeah, so he will be playable. You will be able to play as Aiden Pierce again. So
cool.
Which reminds me, I should probably play Watch Dogs 2 at some point.
Yeah, we should do that.
We should definitely do that.
Co-op it up.
I would absolutely love to play through Watch Dogs 2 co-op. Hyperscape is getting a turbo mode. So if you want to play Hyperscape really quickly, you can do that.
Cool.
I think that will be out on the 15th. So this week, you will be able to play turbo mode in Hyperscape. And they showed off two other things. The biggest announcement, or I guess not really the biggest announcement, but the announcement that got the most attention during this was that Scott Pilgrim is coming back.
Surely you speak of lies and slander.
I do not. They are re-releasing Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
That's really amazing because I started following Brian Lee O'Malley's Twitter, and just before the Ubisoft thing started, he tweeted out, "It's like, hey, you should probably watch this thing." It's like, all right, Brian, I get the game you're playing here.
Yeah, so the game is 10 years old. I did not realize that.
Yeah, and it was only on the
360.
I think I had it on PS3.
Yeah, they did.
But it was like only up for like a year and got DLC like just before they killed it off.
Yeah, and it was delisted from the store, and you couldn't get it. Like there was nothing, and people have been asking for this game to come back and come back and come back. And now for the 10th anniversary, it is coming back, and it will be out on Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
Stadia.
Yes, Stadia.
Okay.
Ubisoft is fully behind Stadia. Like fully behind Stadia. So Ubisoft is all in on the streaming services in general. They got behind GeForce Now when it was having, struggling, and they are supporting Stadia with just about everything. So if there's one company out there that is supporting game streaming, it would be Microsoft. But Ubisoft is also right there with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you will also be able to there will be a couple of new add-on characters in this game. Knives Chow and Wallace Wells will be playable.
And they were both the original DLC characters.
Yeah.
Independent DLC characters, because I had the Knives Chow DLC, never got the Wallace Wells, and the game got delisted, and I was like, well, can't play this now.
So
now I can, all in one package.
10th anniversary version of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game complete edition is what they're calling it. So
cool. Really fun game, by the way.
It is an incredibly fun game to play.
And now it's like online multiplayer or co-op, so that's
I played that co-op with my kids on the 360, and we loved that game. I'm really glad it's going to have online co-op. So, and then lastly, with Ubisoft, the last thing they showed off, their one more thing was, and when I was watching this, I wrote down Trials mixed with Steep. This was that was the one note I took when I was watching this. And this is from the developer of Steep. It is called Riders Republic, and it is an extreme sports extravaganza, basically. It's going to have snowboarding, skiing, biking, wingsuiting, all kinds of stuff. 50-player races, all kinds of stuff. So, and it's going to be out early next year, February 25th, 2021, for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Stadia, and PC. So it looks interesting.
So you compare that to Trial? You said it was like Trials?
Yeah, they were showing off some of the biking stuff. Like, this is not third person. This is like, it's not side-scrolling Trials stuff. It is behind the back, 3D.
Well, you can do Trials and behind the back on some of the level modding stuff.
That's true. That's true. So, I'll be interested in seeing some more about this. It looks like it's a lot of fun. I'm really curious to know how 50-player races are going to work. And the last bit of news that I wanted to talk about was just a free upgrade for a game that got announced this week, and that is that Borderlands 3 will be getting a free next-gen upgrade.
Nice.
So, the things that they touted were 4K 60 frames a second in single player. Sweet. You will get Xbox One will get the Series X, PS4 will get a PS5. It would be weird if the PS4 got an Xbox Series X version of the game. But then they also said that those new consoles will get 3 and 4 player split screen.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
So they currently do 2-player split screen on a single system. Now, if you got a group of friends, you can go old school 4-player split screen on one system.
Man, it's gonna be like playing Halo on the original Xbox. Sounds awesome.
So if you have a Series X, you will get the 4K 60. Obviously, Series S will not. They did say specifically, because that system doesn't do 4K, only 1440, you won't get the 4K upgrade, but that system will be getting the 3 and 4 player split screen. So
nice.
And the other thing that they talked about was that if you're on PS4 or Xbox One, you don't get the 3 or 4 player split screen, but if you want to do vertical split screen, you can. I don't know why you would. I think horizontal's better, but some people do prefer vertical split screen.
Those people are weird.
You lose so much stuff that you can see in vertical.
It's like in the world of widescreen stuff, let's go vertical. So it makes no sense.
It's not like the game does a lot of, vertical stuff. You're not looking up at the sky a whole bunch. I mean, there is some stuff up there, but generally it's all right in front of you. So there's not a reason to see a lot more above you or below you. I'd want to see more of the horizon. So
I'm really glad the Borderlands 3 developers are doing this.
So,
and it's also, I can't help but also think it's like a shot at the control, because unless you have like that ultimate edition that just released or whatever, you don't get the upgrade or something. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of drama with that. So I'm really glad other developers are speaking out and being like, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah. I need to pick up Borderlands 3. It's the one Borderlands game I haven't played yet.
Same here.
I've played 1, 2 pre-sequel. I played the Telltale version of that game. I've played everything Borderlands related except for Borderlands 3.
Nice.
So, but that will be it for the news. So let's move on to listener feedback, and we got some this week from Nathan via Facebook, who wants to know, do you think exclusives are going to remain a thing 10 years from now? The more I look on this topic, the more I see people generally hoping for cross-platform play and less exclusive titles so that everyone can play together on what they want. Personally, I'm sure exclusives are likely to remain, but mostly for big first-party icons like Kratos, Master Chief, and of course Nintendo. But I seriously hope crossplay becomes the standard. What do you think?
Honestly, aside from the first-party stuff, exclusives are going to come down to a couple of factors. One being money,
Hmm.
always money. It could be timed exclusive. That's fine. I mean, I have no issue waiting a year for something to come out to a different console if like it's on something I don't usually play on
Yeah.
compared to something I do. And the other thing would be if you're the developer or maybe even the publisher, if you have a preference. If it comes to the uh, developer, then it's probably whatever you can develop for. If you like the Xbox better than PlayStation, then yeah, that's fine. If you're the publisher, then again, money,
Yeah.
because you're the one paying for the game at that point. So it's gonna go where you want it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think exclusives are going to stick around. I don't, while I would much rather not have exclusives, I understand the value and the point of exclusive content. You want people on your system. So, you're never going to see Mario on an Xbox. You're never going to see The Last of Us on Switch. You're never going to see Master Chief anywhere but on a Microsoft system. That's just generally how that stuff works. And that's fine.
We
I'm perfectly okay with that.
we might actually see less exclusives probably 10 years from now, because like if you look at stuff 10 years ago, I mean exclusives were still it's like getting less and less each time where it's just more of the
Mhm.
first party stuff. So yeah, 10 years from now I could see it happening. It's just it still falls back to that thing I said about developer choices and money.
Mhm. With third party games, I think you're absolutely going to see more cross platform play. People are going to put it out on whatever they can, and their developers understand that not everybody can buy the game on a specific system. So if you have a Switch, if you have a Series X, if you have a PS5, you want to play with your friends, even if they don't have the same system you do. And I think with third parties, we are definitely going to see cross platform play become the norm. Not only cross platform play, we may also see cross progression become a big thing. We're seeing that a lot in like the free to play space where money is not as big an option. So, if you play Fortnite, you can have all of your Fortnite content, everything that you've bought, all of your skins, all of your, whatever on whatever system you play.
Yeah,
And
Warframe.
yeah, exactly. Warframe, Brawlhalla needs it. Paladins needs cross-platform progression.
Destiny has solved that issue, but they haven't solved all of the issue.
So, I think we are going to see a big focus from third parties on cross-platform and cross-progression stuff because people have games on multiple systems and they want to be able to play it wherever it's most convenient at the time. So that definitely we are going to see those things become the norm. Exclusives will still be a thing. And while like I said, I don't like exclusives, I understand the value of exclusives. So I don't think they're going to go away. We might see less of them, like you said, but you're still going to see console exclusives, whether it is timed or whatever the case may be. And timed exclusives may become more of the norm than just straight exclusive. Like third parties will see, if a big publisher says, you know what, we'll give you a whole bunch of money, but you have to put this on PlayStation, and then the developer says, okay, that's fine, but after a year, we want to be able to put it wherever we want, and you're going to see that. I think.
Otherwise, it'd be a thing where Sony has to outright buy like all the rights for that game to stay.
Yeah.
So usually, like a timed exclusive is a thing. And I would maybe 15 years ago, it'd probably be crazy to even think about Crash Bandicoot and Spyro being on anything other than PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Although there might have been some Crash Bandicoot on Xbox. I'm not sure when that one came out for 360 or something.
I don't know.
But still, a while back that would just be crazy talk saying that those would show up on other systems, including Nintendo of all things.
Yeah.
But here we are now. It's like, hey, you can get it on whatever and enjoy these two original trilogies remade and looking amazing at that.
And then we see stuff like console exclusive bonuses. So you get the whole game, but if you play it on the Switch, maybe you get a pair of shorts on Crash that are blue and red that you can only get and use on the Switch, whatever. Stuff like that. So, I don't think exclusives are going away as much as I don't like them. They're here to stay, and they have a purpose, and that's just the way things work. So, that though will be it for the show, I think, Ethan. So, thank you very much for being here.
Man, it's gonna be such a good week. I hope.
Man, we're not gonna record the podcast next week because we're both gonna be playing Mario.
Just gonna live stream playing Mario.
There you go. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.